tired of eerie playoff exits. They want real change. They want strong leadership. They want bold moves in free agents, smart decisions in draft, and aggressive trades is necessary. The owner of the team, Jerry Jones, is always in the spotlight. He is known for being very confident and sometimes very aggressive with his decisions. In recent season, he has spoken about improving the roster and being more active. The big question is simple. Will he truly make the moves needed to be competitive with the best team in NFL? Let us begin by looking at the offense. The Cowboys have talent, but talent are not enough. The quarterback position is always the most important position in football, and the team needs consistent leadership and strong decision making. A great quarterback must protect the football, lead defenses correctly, and deliver accurate passes under pressure. When playoff time comes, everything becomes more difficult. Defensive players become faster, more physical, and more focused. That is when true leaders lies. The wide receiver group must always be strong and reliable. If the Cowboys want to dominate, they need receivers who can create separation, catch difficult passes, and gain yards after the catch. There has been a lot of discussion around the wide receiver George Pickens and what his future could look like. A long-term contract extension could provide stability, keeping talented players in important because chemistry takes time to breathe. If a team constantly changes its main weapon, it becomes harder to build rhythm and trust. Now let's talk about on running game. In NFL, balance is extremely important. The team cannot depend only on passing. Defenses will adjust quickly. The Cowboys must have a running back who can handle pressure, break tackles, and control the clock late in the game. Strong running attack also helps the offensive line perform better. When the offensive line plays with confidence, the entire offense becomes more dangerous, of course. Speaking of the offensive line, this unit must improve if the Cowboys want real success. Injuries have been a problem in recent seasons in the Dallas. Depth is important. Young players must develop quickly. Veterans must stay healthy. The offensive line is the foundation of everything with the Dallas Cowboys. Without protection, the quarterback struggles. Without strong blocking, the running game fails. Let us move on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive win championships. That statement is repeated often because it is true. The Cowboys have shown flashes of the greatness on the defense, but consistency is a real challenge. They need a defensive line that can pressure opposing quarterbacks without depending only on British players. When a defense can create a pressure with only 4 defensive linemen, it becomes much harder to stop. There has been discussion about elite pass rushers such as Maxx Crosby and how a player like him can completely change the defense. A dominant pass rusher forces mistakes. He forces quarterbacks to throw earlier than planned. He creates turnovers. Turnovers change the game. If the Cowboys want to make a broad statement, acquiring or developing a player with that level of the intensity, the production is critical. Linebackers and defensive backs must also communicate clearly. Modern offenses are complex. They use motion before the snap. They use play-action passes. They create confusion on purpose. Discipline is the key, and defensive players must trust their assignments. One small mistake can lead to a long-term touchdown. Coaching is another major fact. Leadership from the coaching staff shapes the culture of the team. Preparation during the week determines the performance on Sunday. Film Saturday, practice testing, and clear communication are all necessary for the success. The team that lacks discipline will struggle in close games. The Cowboys have lost several important games because of small mistakes, penalties, missed tackles, and poor clock management that can destroy championship dreams. Now, let us discuss on free agents. Free agents is another opportunity to improve quickly. However, it must be done carefully. Spending money without clear plan can damage the team for years. The Cowboys must identify specific weaknesses and target players who fit the system. Not every talented player is the right fit. Culture matters, attitude matters, work ethic matters. The draft is equally important. Building through a draft creates long-term success. And of course, young players are less expensive and can develop within the team system. Scouting must be detailed and accurate. Evaluators must look beyond highlights. They must study character, discipline, and football intelligence. Some of the best teams in the league are strong because they draft well every year. A very important topic is today team mentality. Championship teams believe they can win against anyone. Confidence must be built through preparation and accountability. Veteran leaders must set the standard in the locker room. Young players follow what they see. If leaders work hard, the entire team works hard. Fans support in another powerful element. Cowboys fans are passionate and loyal. They expect experience and they expect excellence. Playing in a large stadium with high expectation can be both motivating and challenging. Players must embrace pressure instead of fearing it. Great team use pressure as fuel. Let us also consider competition within the division. Every season division games are extremely important. Winning the division grants the playoff opportunity. The Cowboys must take these games seriously from the beginning of the season. Slow starts can create unnecessary pressure later. In the playoffs, details because everything, one turnover can end the season, one missed field goal can end the season. The Cowboys must prepare with urgency. They cannot assume talent alone will kill them. Execution is critical moment, separates champion from the average teams. In conclusion, today's story, the path forward for the Dallas Cowboys is clear but challenging. They must strengthen the offensive line. They must maintain stability at quarterback. They must secure key playmakers like George Pickens if he is a part of the long-term vision. They must improve the defensive pressure, possibly by targeting right talent like Maxx Crosby or developing similar impact players. They must draft wisely. They must manage free agents carefully. Most importantly, they must build culture of discipline, accountability, and hunger. If Jerry Jones and leadership group truly committed to these principles, the Cowboys can return to the championship contention. The fans are ready, talent is close, the opportunity is there. Now it is time for the action, not just promises. The future of the Dallas Cowboys depends on a bold decision, smart planning, and relentless efforts. If these elements come together, this historic franchise can once... This is a day when teams are allowed to use the franchise tag on players. The franchise tag is a special tool that allows the team to keep a player for one more year, and even if that player is about to become a free agent. It usually comes with high salary. Many teams use it when they are not ready to lose an important player. The first day that teams could use the franchise tag has already passed. However, nothing dramatic happened for the Dallas Cowboys. The team did not place the franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens. Many fans were watching closely because Pickens is one of the most important offensive players on the roster. When the Cowboys did not use the tag immediately, it gave hope for many supporters. It suggests that the team may be working toward for long-term contract instead. A long-term contract would be better for both sides, and it would give George Pickens security for several years, and it would also help the Cowboys to avoid the stressful offseason filled with rumors, arguments, and uncertainty. In the recent years, Dallas fans have experienced dramatic contract situation with star players. Supporters would prefer to calm and professional negotiation this time. However, it is important to remember that there is still time. The franchise tag window remains open for several days. The Cowboys could still decide to use it if negotiations do not move forward. Nothing is final yet. For now, fans can only wait and watch. Another important story for the Dallas is the introduction of the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. He will officially meet with the Dallas media on Tuesday. This meeting is important because it will give clues about how the Cowboys plan to build their defense for the upcoming season. A defensive coordinator plays a major role in shaping a team identity. He decides how aggressive the defense will be. He chooses the scheme, the formation, and the strategies because Christian Parker is new to the organization. Many people are curious about his plans. Reporters will likely to ask him about free agents and upcoming NFL League draft in 2026. His answers may reveal what types of the players the Cowboys are targeting. Some analysts have already started connecting available defensive players to the Parker coaching style. Interestingly, one of the names being discussed players for division rival. That makes a situation even more interesting. If Dallas wants to compete for the championship, the defense must improve and remain consistent. Christian Parker leadership will be extremely important in achieving that goal. While much of the attention is focused on George Pickens, another important Cowboys player is quietly approaching free agents. His kicker Brandon Aubrey is set to become a restricted free agent. A restricted free agent is different from the normal free agent. His current team can place a tender offer on him. This offer allows the team to match any contract another team offers. However, there is some risk involved. Cowboys are expected to place a second-round tender on Brandon Aubrey. This means that if another team signs him, they would need to give Dallas second-round draft picks as compensation. But there is concern. Brandon Aubrey has developed into one of the most dynamic kickers in the league. Some teams may believe he is worth of the price. If another team makes strong contract offer, of course Dallas will have to decide whether to match it or let him leave. Losing a reliable kicker can change the outcome of the close games. Special teams are often overlooked, but they are very important. The news is not only about Dallas. Across the NFL, many important stories are developing. We cannot talk more about this one, but one major topic is the franchise tag tracker, where George Pickens is listed as one of the top candidates around the league. Many analysts believe he deserves a long-term contract, but franchise tag remains the option. Another report suggests that certain free agents is likely to flow Christian Parker to Dallas. Coaching often bring in players who understand their system. This makes transitional smoother. There is also discussion about different draft scenarios, and the Cowboys currently have 2 first-round draft picks. This gives them flexibility. They could also use both picks to select the young talents, or they could trade one pick to move higher on the draft. They could also trade down and gain additional selection. The possibilities are exciting for the fans. The future of George Pickens may directly influence how Dallas approach free agents at the wide receiver position. If Pickens signs a long-term deal, the team may not need to spend heavily on another receiver, but if he leaves, the Cowboys would need to act quickly. Another interesting financial note, shows that Cowboys are spending more than 10 times as much money on the defensive tackle position compared to the edge rusher position. This imbalance has raised the question among the analysts. There are also rumors about possible trade between Cowboys and Kansas City Chiefs on recent mock draft projection. Mock draft are prediction, but they often create a strong reaction among the fans. Coaching changes are also shaping the National Football League landscape. Rich Bisaccia has stepped down as a special team coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. This is another story which is not about Dallas Cowboys. For the Dallas Cowboys, everything begins with stability. If they can secure George Pickens, as we said, with a long-term contract, they remove major distractions. This allows front office to focus on strengthening their position. And as we said, Christian Parker is going to make his defensive strength, and also Brandon Aubrey are restricted free agent. We are going to see what